Gotham Season 2, Episode 8, Tonight's the Night. This is definitely an awesome episode, which I think this episode, and of course the last one, definitely fairly chaotic. This one was more centered because, of course, all the chaos was focused on Jim, and it was done by Barbara, who doesn't want to just, make things go nuts and, shoot up the whole place or anything like that. But she does want, what she wants, and what she wants is her revenge on Jim. And this was a good episode for that. She goes in, she's automatically just messing with him. She gives herself up, does the interrogation. Jim pulls a move, which they showed it in the trailer that he kissed her, and I was wondering, out of context, you never really know. So I was like, I wonder exactly what happened there. And basically, he just kissed her, and I was like, what in the world? What idea was he having where he's like, I should kiss her? I know he did it excuse me, because his plan was to kind of ease the tension and make her think oh, I still care and all that. But still, it's just why would he do that? And especially he knows his current girlfriend is right there, and even excuse me, even after the interrogation and everything, and he's talking to the captain, he's like, oh, I made a judgment call in there, and he didn't, of course no one's gonna be like, oh, that was a great judgment call if it's your partner. So, she kind of had the same reaction I did. I was just like, why did he do that? When it happened, I was just like, whoa, he actually did that. Context or no context, he just flat out kissed her. There was really nothing to it. So, that was an interesting choice he made. And then, of course, he and Bullock decide, all right, we need something. We need some information. Mostly, they need the info on Galavan to confirm whether or not what Penguin said is true. And so they're kind of keeping things going, even after they're told, too many high vantage points and stuff for, the bad guys' obvious trap. Even after that, they keep going. Seems simple enough, conversation. And then, of course, here comes a big freaking 18-wheeler, takes down the car. I'm not sure what happened with Bullock. That was something, honestly, I had literally just thought of that. I don't know what happened with him. I guess they just left him. And that was pretty much it, because they left everybody else as well. Everyone kind of just ended up going back to the precinct. So that's probably it. It just, he got knocked out, and then they left him. It was like, who gives a crap? Didn't really need to kill him. I guess they could have thought he was dead too. But he ends up going back to the station. They kidnap Jim. He was definitely about to shoot because he sees Barbara, in his little haze, and he's just he pulls his gun and he leans out the window a little. Of course, Tabitha comes along. She takes him out. Something that happened with Tabitha was towards the end when she actually got shot. I was wondering what's gonna happen for her in the next episode, because she's the character that tortures everyone, and she's kind of crazy and just messes with everyone. So I'm what exactly is gonna happen with her character now? What are the interactions gonna be between her and her brother? What's going to happen there? How is she going to react to actually being wounded for once? Because she hasn't really been in too many fights. She was in, you can't even call it a fight. She just killed the guy on the roof in the last episode. She stepped on his neck. Done. So she hasn't exactly been in fights. And she definitely, she took a bullet in this episode. So I'm just how is that going to affect her character? Because she's always in, this position of power, really. Her and her brother, they haven't really been touched until this episode, officially, where she takes an actual bullet. So, I'm very curious. Well, her brother actually got hit in this episode, too. I forgot about that, but he takes a nice punch, which was, once again, it seems like this season is full of random people, people just randomly getting punched or slapped. And it's hilarious to me, because I didn't see that coming. But, where she got shot, was okay, and especially the fact that she's on her own now. I guess we won't see the interaction for a little bit of time because she probably won't go near the police to try to get her brother out. She doesn't exactly have a lot of backup. She could go to Butch, and that's kind of about it, I guess. But at this point, she's kind of on her own. So looking forward to that too. She's literally wounded and totally isolated from everyone else. She probably can't go back home either because they probably be looking out for her, at her place, because it's okay, well, this is Galavan's sister, probably knows what's going on, try to, get some info out of her too. So she probably won't end up going back, or she'll at least go back and then it'll be oh, there are cops swarming the house. I gotta take off and go somewhere else. So definitely looking forward to. Sorry, I keep coughing. A lot of phlegm, but definitely looking forward to her sort of solo adventure, I guess, in the next episode. Once again, not sure how it's going to play out, but she's kind of on her own. Barbara, I totally thought was going to die in this episode, which would have been really crazy. But, Barbara's all messed up. She fell out of a church, into some bushes. So she's all jacked up. She's in the hospital. Her brother's arrested. Butch, like I said, he's really like the only person she could kind of go to. She would never go to Penguin anyway, but he's off in the forest doing, being wounded and living in a trailer, which led to like an amazing final scene for this episode, which I really loved and has me super excited for the next one as well. But she's on her own right now, so I don't really know what to expect out of that, but I'm definitely looking forward to it because she's always just been in a very comfortable position, and now everything is kind of falling apart all at one time. So looking forward to that. Barbara in general in this episode is definitely entertaining. She always is, especially now that they've made her like just full on crazy. Love her character now. Like, she's actually really entertaining to watch compared to the last season where she was just like bitchy and cheating and this and that, which they still never brought back those two people, like the two detectives from the last season. And I felt like even if they didn't bring back the guy because he was nobody, the woman that Barbara slept with, and like they used to be together, and then Barbara of course cheated on Jim with her. I believe her name was Montoya. She never came back, and I always thought that didn't make any sense. Even in the last season, it kind of didn't make sense. Like, I mean, obviously there was a lot of other stuff happening, but even when she was rescued, that had to have been like all over the news. Like, this woman was saved and stuff because they finally caught the guy, and if I'm remembering right, they had to kill him. But all this stuff, I'm pretty sure, was like all over the news and everything, and she just never showed up again after that scene where they were in bed together. It was like nothing ever again. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I would love to see that come into play. Maybe we'll get to see that with Barbara in the hospital or something. But I would like for that to take place. Maybe they run into each other, and then Barbara, being crazy Barbara now, would just be like, oh, I cheated on you and, slept with her and stuff. I don't know. But I would love for that to come back because I feel like that could have been an important scene from the last season. And it could be something now. It wouldn't be as, impactful, I don't think. But maybe even more impactful with Barbara kind of being insane. But hopefully that comes into play at some point because that always kind of bugged me that it just never came up again. Like, she just disappeared. They had that scene, they were in bed together, and then the next scene was Barbara with her parents, and we never saw Montoya again. So I would like for that to kind of come back into play somehow. But Crazy Barbara in this episode was really fun. I liked everything that took place. The ending, they end up getting busted, so she takes off. I had no idea that Tabitha was there, by the way, like until she got shot and when she was like shooting at Jim. I was like, I didn't know she was still there. I thought it was just the three of them. I thought it was like Barbara was there, she has her two victims, and that was it. And then Tabitha kind of just came in at the end, unless she was in the background and I didn't notice it. But it seemed like she just randomly came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, I didn't know she was still there. And then she got shot and took off. So I still enjoyed it. I liked the dream sequence at the beginning as well. That was pretty entertaining, and we got to see. We got to see a bunch of people from Arkham Asylum, and Galavan was playing on the piano, or the organ, I guess. Tabitha wasn't in there. Sionis wasn't in there, but he also got killed off, like, as soon as they escaped, so, meh. They didn't have the actor who played Jerome come back, but they did have, like, the choir was all people with red hair because they were supposed to represent Jerome, so I thought that was kind of cool. And it was just a nice, crazy little scene. Penguin with the weirdest little pedo Italian stash he had going there. Silliest little thing to me. I was like, that just looks really crazy on him. And that was kind of the point, just random weirdness. But I like that opening scene. It was like her seeing all these things all at once, like worlds blending together that shouldn't be. So definitely enjoyed that. The stuff with Bruce in this episode I thought was pretty entertaining because Bruce had this moment where he could have gotten all the information, seemingly. Of course, it's not going to be anything real, but he thought he was going to have some information from his parents. I would love to see him, hear from Galavan that was fake to begin with, but considering Galavan is like the evil villain for the whole season, he'll probably just keep lying to him and tell him like, once I get out of here or whatever, I'll get the documents all over again, but you have to sign it to me. But Bruce had, a big decision to make, and he was going to sign things over. And when he was about to write, I was like, I hope Alfred steps in or something. But Bruce ultimately made, made the decision for himself, and I like that. I was like, it was kind of cool because he had this moment. Pretty much the whole thing was like he is trying to figure out whether or not to give up the company, and he decides that he's going to because he wants revenge on the person that killed his parents, and he's finally there. The pamphlet, the little thing is all there, like all this info, just right on this desk. All he has to do is sign his name, done deal, and he decides, I kind of just have to do this. It's my parents' company. It's now my company, and he decides to keep, Wayne Enterprises. And then, of course, the police come in, and Jim does, once again, like I said, just random slaps thrown and punches thrown. Kind of been some of my favorite stuff this whole season. So he comes in, he just, punches Galavan straight in the face. I was surprised that the captain didn't say anything, because that's like his big deal. Is like, no matter what, he's like, by the books, do things the way they're supposed to be done. He didn't say anything, and technically you're not supposed to punch people when you're about to arrest them. You can if they're resisting, but you can't just be mad and sock a guy right in the nose. But he didn't say anything, and I was like, that was just a great, funny scene. So I love that. I don't know what's going to happen with Bruce, because of course he thinks that, that was going to be like the be-all, end-all to his search and looking for, finding the killer of his parents. So he's going to be tormented by that for quite some time, and Galavan might tell him, and at the same time, he might get the info from in the next episode from Jim, who'll be like, if we knew that, I would have known that, because that totally would have been through the police. It wouldn't have been, it could have been like a secret cover-up and stuff because of all the crime and everything, but he'll probably just get the info, hopefully, in the next episode. It doesn't, like, torment him for a long time. It's like, this kid, like, I could have figured it all out, but, then he lost his one chance or something. So hopefully he does get that answer, and he's not just tortured for the rest of the season thinking that he was, like, right there finding out who killed his parents. But I like that portion of the episode. It was minor. It was kind of just, little bits and pieces thrown in, him trying to figure out what was the legacy of his parents and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. Alfred, being behind him 100% was always pretty cool, but at that end point, I was like, he put like a little line there. I was like, oh, Alfred, like, just step in. I don't know why I was freaking out as if it was going to happen, but that would have been amazing if it did. And he signed over Wayne Enterprises, and then we have a portion of the season where he has to figure out how to get it back or something, which probably would have been easy even if he signed it. And then, although I guess, whether a guy's arrested or not, if you signed a legal document, it's still binding. But either way, it didn't happen, so all these hypotheticals don't really matter whatsoever. But that was enjoyable. The other little side story we had with Riddler was also very enjoyable, and that was pretty fun. And then it became amazing at the end of the episode, because it was like the whole time it was like, okay, he has this body, that's Miss Kringle's body. He's chopped her up. She's in this metal box. He does like his weird little picnic deal. He does a riddle, and then he gets busted by this random person, knocks that dude out, goes to the car, comes back, and it's like, okay, someone's eating my sandwich. So now I got to figure out who the heck did this, because I gotta kill them now, because there's a body here. There's a box with a chopped up body in it. There's a knocked out guy right on top of this box. Now I got to kill somebody else. And I love the line he gave where it was like, for a secluded forest, this place has a lot of foot traffic. I enjoyed that. So the whole thing with him I thought was fun. And it was like, it's just Riddler. It's still a nice blend of him being like, nerdy, silly Edward Nygma, who's very, who's fumbling and stuff like that. It's like he's still that guy, but now he's moving towards being Riddler. But he's still that old guy, so he's not like everything works out perfectly. It's like, okay, so we got this, do my little picnic. Now I knock this guy out. I gotta chop him up, because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna dig a bigger hole, which I thought was interesting because he totally could have. I'm not like it's impossible, but he was like, all right, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna chop this guy up, go back to the car. Now I gotta chop somebody else up. It's gonna get crowded, and then we find Penguin at the end of this episode because I thought for sure it would be some random person, and he was gonna have to actually fight someone again like he did with the cop, and he would have to actually kill that person, and then it's like he, killed someone else, and now he does it. But then we see it's Penguin, and he found it. He had a little secluded trailer. He's wounded, and now the two of them are gonna be together as criminals because there's a couple of scenes. There's like someone in a closet that they take out who has a bag over their head. I'm pretty sure that person was in a suit, so it's not like it's the guy um, that Nygma knocked out. So there's some other person. They were also in a house when that happened, so they go somewhere as a team, kidnap somebody, and now they're doing evil stuff and like killing people as a duo, which I love because I never would have expected that. And we had like the one scene in the last season when they like first met each other and they had like the kind of angry looks at each other. It's like that's when the Penguin and the Riddler first met, and so now we have them as actual killers as a duo. I can't wait to see how that stuff plays out. I'm really excited for that. The preview itself I loved because it started off. The first scene is just Jim with a gun in a guy's mouth, and he's just like screaming at this guy. He's just like freaked out about something, and they have like Moonlight Sonata playing as the music. I was like, I don't know who did that trailer, but it had me so excited for the next episode. There's like the Penguin Riddler stuff happening, which is going to be really awesome. And then whatever this main case is, I really hope the episode is as cool as the trailer was, because I was like, this has me so excited for whatever's happening in this next episode. So I'm really looking forward to the next one, seeing whatever craziness goes down. It seemed like there was like an explosion. It looked like it was Galavan's place. So there's going to be some firefights taking place. Some crazy stuff is going down in the next episode. And I'm really looking forward to that. I certainly enjoyed this episode, but of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And despite what happened with Galavan and Tabitha, and as well as Barbara, I want to know what you guys think of Penguin and Riddler teaming up in this next episode. I'm super excited for it, but one of the big things about the show in general is people sometimes think that they're moving mostly like the villain characters, especially Riddler, because Penguin was already a part of the crime thing. So mostly with like Riddler, some people think that he's being pushed into becoming the Riddler way too fast. Personally, I really love it. I enjoy it. I think it's really awesome because he's obviously not like full on Riddler just yet. But I'm looking forward to this team up. But like I said, I want to know what you guys think. So please comment below. Let me know. And thanks for watching.